Hello and welcome to the RWBY Radio podcast. We're back once again. Woo! We've got a lot to talk about. You can probably tell why I'm very excited. I'm going to try and not lose my mind before we get to the moment that I'm talking about. But before I go any further, I have to introduce our wonderful guest this week. Amazingly talented, some of the best art going around the RWBY fandom. The one and only YEAAAAAH, aka the Batjan. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. Just happy from RWBY and excited for more episodes.
Are you ready to talk all things RWBY?
Of course, always.
Alright, let's get right into it then. Of course, this is talking about the most recent episode, which is Volume 7, Episode 6, A Night Off, which is currently only available for first members. So this will be going up on Friday, so if you haven't seen it, put this in your watch later column, come back to it in 24 hours. Only watch this if you are kept up to date or you don't mind spoilers. So we're going to watch through the episode, we're going to talk about everything that's going to happen, and then we'll probably go through some theories at the end. So, kicking it off with just as the, once again, fantastic intro rolls again. Was this what you were expecting from this episode, YEAAAAAAH?
Not exactly. Like, I was expecting the whole group to have some kind of, I don't know, to go to a party or to hang out in Mantle or something, but then we got this whole mess, I guess we can call it.
I mean,
the whole,
technically, we did have some hanging out in Mantle, just
True.
not what we thought it'd be.
Not how we thought it would be. I thought it was gonna be like a fun little episode, just a little bit more of
Lighthearted.
plot progression. Yeah, but not this. This was just too much, I guess. Like, I couldn't breathe after the episode. I was like so shocked from everything.
To be honest, that's pretty valid considering what's going to happen in a moment. So, as the credits finish, intro finishes even, we first start with the aftermath of the riots we saw at the end of the last episode. We have a lot of people getting arrested, and we have, I guess it's the people queuing for the polling stations for the vote.
Yeah, the votes, yeah.
And we see Jacques Cheny posters which have been defaced. We see the Robin Hill for Council posters, which Rooster Teeth tweeted out the other day. Weird thing that I noted out of these, I don't know if you've ever played these games, but the Robin Hill posters have a real big BioShock Infinite vibe for me.
Oh, you're right.
Like the sort of font, the kind of almost gears in the corner, which...
Yeah.
If you played that game, you're going to know where...
But I watched a walkthrough for BioShock Infinite. Was that the name?
Infinity, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Infinite? Or it's Infinite, not Infinity. But if you haven't played that game, plug your fingers in your ears if you don't want to hear this. Vague spoiler of how the plot goes. But let's say it's about a floating utopia with a decadent over-society where things go rapidly wrong, and there's a revolutionary female leader in it. I strongly suggest you go play the game because it's very good. But I'm not sure if that's deliberate or coincidence, but it'd be a nice note because Rooster Teeth is well known for their video game knowledge.
True.
And so we get one of the drunken idiots from the first episode.
Oh yeah, the what was his name? His last name was Man, or
it was like Joel Man, or because he was the brother of Shady Man. And we get him going to the polling station, of which we also see the other candidates, because it's not just Robin and Jacques. It's Robin Hill, Jacques Cheny, Ivy Brown, and Pearl Is that Wistier?
Wistier, yeah, I think.
Which is interesting. No, it wasn't a two-horse race. And we get...
I guess they're not important.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
We get the overview from... not the overview. We get this talk over the top of it from Robin doing an interview.
Yeah, her interview.
Saying that the riots are wrong, but she hopes people will come out to the polls and prove Jacques Cheny wrong. It's a pretty short scene. Pretty short scene. Because it's under a minute. Because we instantly fly into a training scene back in Atlas Academy. We have Blake and Yang playing tag,
which is a nod to RWBY Chibi. That
RWBY
one.
Chibi.
Kid,
We get another Weiss versus Winter fight,
which was epic.
We get Winter trying to get her Beowulf to charge at Weiss, and Weiss kind of locks it in this glyph cage and starts bouncing it around, of which I swear someone made art of this on Tumblr a long time ago.
Really?
I swear I've seen a gif where it's like a cartoon Weiss and she's caught, like, I think Ruby in a glyph thing and just starts bouncing her around it.
Oh yeah, I think I saw something similar.
I'll have to see if I can dredge through Tumblr to find it. But
Weiss really grew, like, her semblance is so strong, and she's so smart because, like, she uses her gravity glyphs and her summoning, like, the little knight to defeat Winter in this duel. So she really has grown.
As she knocks the Beowulf back, Winter, I'm guessing, goes to do another move to maybe get it to correct itself. But before she does, as you said, Weiss has summoned her little mini knight to slash at the back of her. Do you want to know the really, really, really interesting note about this?
What?
The knight slashes at Winter's Achilles. Her Achilles heel.
Damn.
Last week on the podcast, I was saying about how when the Weiss versus Winter fight, when they were doing the summoning, it was a Pyrrhic victory. And now we have another Weiss versus Winter, and it's won through hitting her Achilles heel. We had Pyrrha trying to become the Fall Maiden, Autumn Maiden, and we had all these references. No. And now we have Winter trying to become the Winter Maiden, and we are getting a lot of Achilles references here.
Damn.
And Pyrrha references. So
you're gonna give me some feelings now.
So interesting. The best thing is Winter looking so angry from this, and Weiss's little smirk back.
Yeah, she's so proud, and Winter's just
Winter's furious.
Winter's just upset that her little sister bested her.
It's nice so to see that Weiss has progressed a lot, because also, there's one thing I want to see out this season is I want to see a Weiss one-on-one fight that she can win, because she's still yet to win one in the show.
Yeah,
apart from, which isn't Grim, of course. Like, she hasn't been able to beat a human opponent.
Like, I mean, she already won against Winter now, but it's not like a full fight. It's just the summoning there.
And even that win against Winter was, as I said, a Pyrrhic victory. Like, she had to lose her own knight to win that fight.
Yeah.
So I kind of, it's interesting to me because it's been noted that Ruby's the one who struggles to fight human opponents, not Weiss. And I don't know, I just kind of like to see it as kind of like the progression of a character.
I would like to see her like fight. I don't know.
Speaking of progression of characters, the next scene we get is this scene pans around. We get Jean bashing what looks like volleyballs away as he trains with Nora, and so we get Nora casually swinging Magenhild around like it's nothing. I'd like to point out Magenhild's gotta be arguably the second or first heaviest weapon of any of the gang has.
True, yeah.
Like, it's got to be up there with Crescent Rose. And she's casually swinging this thing around, smacking these training balls back at Sean as he tries to block them. And then,
I mean, didn't Nora say that she can bench 5 of her?
Yeah, she is. I do love how the smallest of the gang, I'm not counting Oscar because he's still growing, the smallest of the gang is the strongest.
Yeah. She's the tiniest.
And then we get Nora uses the upgrade in Magenhild, of which, let's not forget that Nora's upgrade in her hammer is literally just something that gives her an electric shock.
Yeah.
And so She charges up, smashes this massive hit at Jean, which, interestingly, he parries it and the training ball disintegrates. And we see Jean's aura level go down and then him use his semblance to push it straight back up again.
Yeah, he can, like, super heal his own aura.
So it's interesting to note it's not just other people's aura he can now heal. He can heal himself as well.
Yeah. Which is really good, actually.
So we get Oscar making a note of that. Oscar's watching on his scroll. Also, I love Nora taps him, and because the electricity in her hand sends him flying back to the ground. If you look on Oscar's scroll, Jean's aura goes straight back down again.
Yeah, I saw that. She killed him almost.
And then we get Ruby fly past, and I think it's really interesting, like, that Ruby's noting that she never really thought about, or didn't put that much thought into when she uses her semblance. She just did it and went with it. And now that she's putting thought into it, she can split into multiple. That she can it's not so much teleportation, more...
Yeah, it's more like she can turn into a cloud of petals and just speed around and go anywhere. Like, she can split into few little clouds, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really complicated.
The question is, so these, like, clouds of petals, how many does she need to appear in one place?
Yeah.
But these are all questions for a further date and theories. Because, moving on swiftly, we have, speaking of evolving semblances, we get Oscar use that exact line, "You're all evolving and I still don't have my semblance," of which I think it's a definite we're going to see Oscar's semblance, like, appear this volume, right?
Oh, I hope so, really. He needs one.
And so we get Ren meditating in the background. And this is something I want to come back to later.
Okay.
But Ren, as he meditates, and it goes to kind of, I'm guessing, his POV, his, like, what he's seeing, it goes as if he's activating his semblance. It goes all black and white. Okay, cast your minds back to the first episode. Ren's the one who senses they're about to get caught by the Aesops first. When he does, the world goes black and white. There is a scene later where the colours kind of go a bit, and when it comes up, I'm going to talk about it. I get the feeling Ren's semblance is evolving as well. And we'll get back to that bit later. So, moving on. Keep you hooked for later. We get Ironwood and Clover come in saying, you guys are training really hard. And we get Ironwood lamenting about the election. And first of all, Yang leaning on Oscar is adorable.
Big sister.
I do like the kind of the family bonds of, like, the team. Like, especially this volume, we've kind of seen everyone interact with each other a lot more. And it's felt more like a close-knit unit than it has in, I would have said, 6. Which is nice to see. And we get the group kind of turning to Ironwood and saying, maybe you should trust Robin Hill. She'd be better than Jacques. Maybe you could help get Mantle on your side. And Ironwood brushes this off quite a few times. Of like, oh, I'm not so sure, I don't think that would work, etc, etc. Which is interesting to note his hesitancy. But so we get this going through, and we get Nora, we get Ren. The one bit I want to know, now I'm not sure if this is an animation error or if this is on purpose. When he's looking at he's got this display come up on his scroll showing the election, and it says 30% to Jacques, 70% to Robin. Now, as the episode goes through, that slowly gets closer and closer to 50-50.
Yeah.
When Ironwood goes to close his scroll, it doesn't say 30-70. It in fact says 47-53.
Really?
Yes. So
Oh yeah.
it's at 3:36. It's only the briefest of moments. I'm not sure if this is an animation error, they just forgot to change it. Or if we're talking deep plot here. I don't know where we could go on this. I'm gonna favour animation error here, but I'll let you theorists go wild on this one. Like, and so we get the group telling him you should trust Robin, and then we, as we get them, strangely we get Ren interjecting and saying, "Have you got more missions for us?" And we get Clover saying, "No, actually, you have the night off. We're ordering it." Instantly, we get the bees looking at each other because we know what's about to come.
We do.
And as Ironwood basically, his reasoning is tomorrow there's going to be chaos no matter who wins. It's going to be a Ray different mantle and thus Atlas. We're going to need you rested and ready. And we get a very worried looking Ruby at this point. And so we cut back to the dorms, of which this is our first real, like, actual full look at what the Atlas dormitories are like. Interesting to note, they seem a lot smaller than the Beacon rooms.
They do, yeah. More militaristic, like simple and only the necessities.
It is interesting to note in this one, though, they all get their own little desk compared to Beacon, where they all shared, I think they shared 2 desks between the 4 of them.
Yeah.
Also, it's interesting to note they have sliding mechanical doors, and they also have, I'm guessing, what looks like weapon lockers in their wardrobes. We have Weiss listening to election talk on her scroll. We get Ruby sitting on a bunk. We get Yang sitting on Weiss's bunk, and we get Blake getting ready because as we get Weiss pondering why her father would shut down all the SDC jobs because surely it would harm the election. We get Ruby asking Yang and Blake, where are you off to? And they say they're off with Team Funky to go dancing in a nightclub. Woo! It turns out that little hint from a long, long time ago from a certain Aaron Zek turned out to be right.
They, like, I can't believe, like, for the whole hiatus, we were like, oh, Atlas Ball Dance. And then actually what happens is they're going clubbing. It's like the disco. It's not the fantasy romantic ball.
I do like Ruby calling them out, or calling Yang out, saying, I thought you found Team Funky annoying. And you see Ruby grin. Ruby knows. Ruby
does know.
We get Yang making a real bad pun, and of course Blake laughs adorably.
Of course, I mean.
So we get Ren and Nora come in, and Ren, Nora, and Ruby are going to a Robin election party, of which we get Nora noting that just because Ironwood doesn't like Robin doesn't mean we have to. We get Ruby offer the invite to Weiss, and Weiss considers it for a second as she turns to see the bees, of which Blake is trying her very best to dance, much to a teasing Yang, who instantly shows off some very impressive moves.
She has the moves.
Of which I do love. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Honey, darling, sweetie.
Nah.
You're trying your best.
At first I thought she was hopping on her like one leg.
I thought she was trying to do river dancing. Yeah, like
I had no idea what she was doing, and then that's not a dance, honey. That's not a dance. Also, she has her tongue out like a blep.
She's trying to concentrate so hard. Of which
it's so adorable.
We cut back to a slightly annoyed looking Weiss as Jordan Oscar poke their heads around the door, saying, "Does anyone want to go to the movies?" And before they've even finished, Weiss just goes, "Yep," and walks away.
Oh, the fandom.
Weiss just didn't want to spend an evening being the third wheel and having to put up with Team Funky. Can you blame her? Like,
I don't blame her.
I do love the animation of Weiss here. It is fantastic. Also Oscar's face of yay, we're going to the movies.
Sweet boy. So cute.
So we cut to Mantle with Renora and Ruby, and we're seeing people celebrating in the streets that Robin's already won. Of which, at this point, we get our first worrying sign is that from the original score that Ironwood showed us, where it's 30-70, it's now 33% to Jacques. And as the episode continues, Jacques' slowly increases, which is the worrying bit.
Yeah.
And we get Ren put the question. We've all talked about how Ironwood is going to take the news when we tell him the truth, but have we considered how we beat her when we still haven't figured that out ourselves? We get Nora asked the question.
The important question.
The important question that Jin said Ironwood. Jin said Ozpin couldn't destroy Salem. Maybe someone else could. Which is the question we've all been coming up with since episode 3 of last volume.
I mean, if you remember from volume 6, I think Ozpin asked, how do I
how do
Salem?
I defeat Salem? Which...
So he can't.
There's several connotations on this of the... I'll go through the 3 I think I see the most, with the last being the most likely. The first one being that maybe it's because he couldn't actually kill Salem because he couldn't bring himself to do it, of it's the person he loved. The second one of that it can't be a guy who kills Salem, of I'm talking Witch King of Angmar style Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
I am no man.
No man.
Stab. Or the most likely theory I have is that it's a maiden's job. More precisely, the 4 maidens. But again, that's a bit for another time. The interesting bit I've got is that Ruby doesn't seem taken aback by Nora's idea. So I get the feeling that Team Ruby, or at least they've individually, Ruby herself has already considered that idea. But she seems skeptical in that she just doesn't know. And I mean, they've only got one Jin question left, right?
Yeah.
And we once again get a bit of arguments between Ren and Nora, as Ren saying,
oh no,
we should be training, and Nora saying, we need to relax. And we both get them kind of march off in a strop as Ruby is stuck in the middle, looking very pessimistic. So we cut forward to, I'm not sure if it's a warehouse or maybe some like public centre. But
probably warehouse.
It cuts to the Robin election party. We've got a ton of people in this room. We've got people drinking. And the live results now say 36-64%. They've already swung 6%, of which we get some of the surveillance drones floating around with which people have put kick me signs on.
Understandably.
And we come down and Penny instantly says hello. She's running the security with Marrow. And we instantly get more Renora being argumentative. We get Nora's line, Weiss is out with the boys and Blake and Yang off doing their own thing. Again. Well. Okay. Oh. 2 things. One, I like to think this heavily goes along with the idea that everyone in the gang at Beacon knew that Totally Not Dates were dates and were just expecting them to come to it on their own time.
And they're doing it again.
And we get this bit from Ren and Nora of Ren going, at least they're back to being friends.
Friends, huh?
Friends, huh? Just friends.
I screamed at this part. I was like, holy shit, Nora.
Okay,
Nora just validating the bees.
Nora is the MVP of this episode. For several reasons. We get her at the start. She is one of the main ones to call out Ironwood, saying you should talk with Robin. We get her in the dorms saying that just because Ironwood doesn't trust Robin doesn't mean we shouldn't, though she does admit she isn't sure which side's doing the best. We then get her validating the bees and calling out Ren on his BS. And we're going to get to some other moments in a bit. Oh, trust me, we're going to get to some other moments. But this scene is great, again, for the voice acting and the animation as Ren and Nora start to argue of Ruby just lowers to the floor and then slowly rises up next to Penny. So as we get Ruby slide down, we get Nora say, two people who've gone through that much, I think there's more going on.
Validation for both Renora and Bees.
Can we appreciate that Nora, she tried to get the Arcos ship to sail. She was the one who told Pyrrha, practice what you preach.
Yeah.
She's the one back in Bumblebee. She's trying her best to get Ren to see the obvious.
She is the true MVP of pairings of RWBY. She's her own wing woman, actually.
And we get this bit between Ren and Nora of Ren saying, well, maybe one feels that way, but the other might be worried. The interesting point in here, he doesn't say the other might not be interested. He says the other might be worried. And I think this kind of puts where Ren's at, of that he's worried about going into a relationship.
Yeah, like about the whole... He's kind of thinking big. He's thinking about topping Salem as the priority. He isn't thinking about the little things that he should also concentrate on, like getting with Nora and, you know...
Getting with Nora and getting with Nora. We get Ruby slowly slide up from the floor next to Penny.
She slithered. She's a snake.
With Ruby looking utterly fed up, and Penny just, who are they talking about again? And Ruby's fantastic retort of, I'm not really sure. I love Ruby. Ruby is utterly adorable.
Yeah.
Of which, I love how we have so, you remember what we were saying about the Beacon Ball and we all thought an Atlas Ball was coming? I didn't think we'd get a throwback to Beacon Ball with this, of Penny goes, oh, I've got to do security, and Ruby just jumps on her arm and says, please don't leave me. It was Beacon Ball all over again, of Yang and Weiss just going off and leaving Ruby on her own.
Aww.
So we get Ruby follows Penny backstage where there's Marrow. Marrow looks a little fed up that Ruby's back here. Of which we get Ruby trying to play cool, just hanging out with a friend while she's on the job. And we get Penny look so excited to have a fist bump with Ruby. She times it up perfectly and puts a little too much force into it.
She was so excited.
I'm pretty sure Ruby's knuckles have been destroyed, thank God for Aura. We get Marigold, one of Robin's security.
Happy Huntresses?
One of the Happy Huntresses.
Yeah.
May Marigold, who's voiced by Kenan Jensen, who is one of the amazing folks at Rooster Teeth. So we get her coming up and kind of basically telling Marrow to, in polite words, piss off. Excuse my language. And we get the rest of, or some of the Happy Huntress come over and kind of tell Marrow to back off. And we get Robin come in and go, hey, you can stay a little further back, but we've all got, should I win tomorrow, we've all got to work together. We get Robin referring to Ruby as Pipsqueak, of which Ruby's not too happy. So we get her other Happy Huntress, Fiona, on stage, getting a microphone to work, and she starts giving a speech to the crowd, saying how good Robin is, and then invites Robin up to do a speech. We also get Marrow telling Ruby basically to go away because her and Penny have got to work. We get Ruby being adorable and sticking her tongue out. Of which, yes, I have been pointed out, cute Nuts and Dolts moment as they wave goodbye.
Yes.
Nuts and Dolts, like that and Fair Game, like just in this volume, just showing up and being like, yeah, let's go. We get Ruby go back to RENORA only to see them still arguing. This, I mentioned, I'm not sure if it's last week or the week before, I did mention on the podcast that it felt like we've had a Ren and Nora talk coming for a while now.
Yeah, it
Of,
was bound to happen.
of which we get Ruby noticing, I should have gone to the movies. And we cut back to the screen, back to the big screen. It now says 43% to 57%. So we get Robin come up to start making the speech, of which I have seen a lot of people that her and Fiona are a thing. I've seen that come up a lot. Of which I do have to admit the ship name of Springtime is very adorable. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
That is adorable.
it would make sense. They are really close. I
And
mean,
so-
how Fiona talks about Robin and their little change before Robin makes her speech is just like, there's something going on.
We get Robin starting to make the speech as it cuts back between her, Ren, Nora, and Ruby in the crowd, of which we now have the screen ticking to 45 to 55%.
That's intense.
We have Robin saying, "Thank you for choosing me," basically kind of rallying the crowd, saying how Mantle is strong, no matter what, we'll stick together. We get Robin come off the stage, and she looks very worried at the scores. We get Joanna turns to her and says, "Oh, don't worry, this is in the bag." Of which, I do have to admit, I love her Happy Huntresses. They're such a cool little gang of people.
They're really cool.
Of which, speaking of May Marigold, by the way, people have pointed out that she shares the same surname, eye colour, and hair colour as Henry Marigold, the a-hole who Weiss had to put up with at the Schnee auction in Volume 4. Of which, it's nice to think that Henry Marigold has a way badass, cooler sister working a Mantle. It's a nice thought to have. But as Joanna says, it's in the bag, don't worry about it. We get Robin look back at the screen, and it now says 47-53. And Robin looks very worried. And we cut to Ren and Nora.
Oh.
We've got Ren looking away, and Nora looks so upset. She asks, "What's going on? Why won't you just talk to me?" Ren's replies, he looks away, and he looks so sad as he says this. You know, I've never been really good with talking. Nora, you saw the moment. You saw the opportunity. Yes! Nora just says, screw talking, reaches over, grabs him, and we get our Renora kiss.
Finally!
Yes!
It has been 84 years.
Yes! Finally!
We were waiting for this. And I was so happy. I was screaming, like, finally! Jesus Christ.
We have liftoff! We have liftoff, ladies and gentlemen! Non-binary pals, we have liftoff! I lost my freaking mind when this happened. Like, I'm losing my freaking mind just rewatching it now. And so we get...
Same.
We get Ren look completely shocked, and then they wrap... The camera does... He just melts. They wrap their arms around each other, and it just does this pan shot as...
so cute.
As they kiss.
Like, the peak of the episode, like the happiest part of the episode. Like, yes, something good, something nice.
It's so wholesome. It's this. Okay, we're gonna go off on a moment about Renora and pacing. The one thing I wanted to bring up is after the end of Volume 4, and they're built on the airship, and Volume 5 kind of really didn't do anything with it as much. And then we get nothing major of kind of them as a relationship. And then we get the opening of Volume 6 where it's Nora's basically hugging Ren in the intro. And it's kind of, it's going further, and maybe it's just one of these things where they're not going to like explicitly say they're a couple, they're just kind of going to fade into it. So many shows would have just done that. I will give RWBY so many props for the fact they just turned around and went, no, we're going to give this more content, we're going to flesh them out as more characters, we're going to make this relationship more believable. And we've basically got the last few episodes, as you said, of Ren is being cautious. He's looking to the bigger picture and he doesn't want to start a relationship because he's worried. And you've got Nora, on the other hand, feeling that Ren doesn't reciprocate the feelings. And it's starting to drive them apart almost. And then we get into this moment of, oh my god, it's so great.
We waited for this for so long. Like, we assumed that they are a couple, like, after Volume 4.
Yeah.
Because there are a few scenes where told us that they could be a couple. Like, when Nora yelled, "Get back here with my man!"
Yeah,
so we're like, they are probably a couple.
It's kind of from the get-go. It was always they were the first couple really to be heavily hinted at, because almost from the get-go, because they were this comedic duo of one's a stoic, quiet person, one's the loud, bubbly. We're not together. The bit in the first episode, actually, I think it's Nora's first bit of dialogue, is something about we've always been together, and I like you, not like you though. And you get her rapidly trying to backtrack. And we go through all this, and after the finishing of Volume 4, you kind of assumed, oh, that's just it. They've beaten their personal demon. This is where they're going. And
it was such a cute development.
Oh. Okay. Next thing to bring up. One down, one to go. As you know, I'm a big RENORA shipper. I am a valiant sailor on another ship, I'll tell you.
I wonder
what that could be. We're gonna get onto that in a bit. Okay, so the other bit I wanted to bring up, I mentioned earlier Ren's semblance evolving. Okay, so
yeah. As
far as I'm aware, the pretty much, hang on, I can say, as I'm much aware, I have right here in my hands, as I try to not knock every book off my bookcase, the World of RWBY companion book, which you can buy at, no, sorry, I'm not going to do the full promotion, but if I go through it, and I find wherever Ren's page is, which I think is near the back, it says his semblance is tranquility. Ren's semblance works to quiet the heightened emotions of himself and others, which can provide a sort of emotional camouflage against the grim. Those affected by Ren's semblance exhibit a temporary grey tinge that dulls their skin, hair, and clothing. I mentioned earlier that Ren, in the moments when he sensed that the Aesops were about to get them, when he was meditating before Ironwood and Clover came in, we get that greyish tinge again. My thinking was, is his semblance evolving into the fact that his semblance is becoming that he can sense emotions?
Yeah, that's something that I thought it could be.
Because the reason I say this, and I'm going to fully admit that this is, I'm going to say why that it's going to easily be proven wrong. As we have this panoramic shot as they kiss, not panoramic, a pan shot as they kiss, everything in the background fades. It goes blurry. Now, I will freely admit this could just be an artistic thing. This could just be, hey, they want to put the focus on Ren and Nora, that they only know each other in this moment. The whole world's not there, it's just them. I have the feeling it might also be that Ren's semblance is that he can begin to start sensing emotions. And him and Nora opening up to each other is allowing him maybe not just to sense negative emotions, but positive ones as well.
Aww. Yeah.
Again, as I said, it can easily be shot down of this scene's just artistic. It's not that. But I get the feeling we're definitely going to get some sort of evolution of Ren's semblance. And kind of being able to sense emotions, I feel, is very high up on that list. Because we get this one of the new songs playing in the background. We get this fantastic swell of emotions. We get Ruby looking really happy at the front. We get her smiling at Penny. We get a fed up looking Marrow. As we have this wonderful moment and everything's happy. RWBY knows how to play us. Because we suddenly cut to a computer screen and we have 5 tabs open. We have one of the election map. We have one of the live results feed of Xiaxini versus Robin Hill. We have one of the drone cams from inside the Robin Hill election party. And we have security footage of Penny killing Grimm with her swords. Oh, and the 5th tab that's open with, I'm guessing, coding. It looks like nonsense to me. Like, I ran it through a language detector. It didn't come up with anything. I'm pretty sure it's just Windings or something.
Probably.
So keep in mind the drone cam and the Penny surveillance cam. Because we pan out and there's a lot of scrolls and some very stylishly fingerless gloved fingers slide across the keys.
Bending.
Because one Arthur Watts suddenly clicked his weird, I'm guessing they're tech controlling rings.
Could be.
He clicks them on and he says, "You ready, Tyrion?" In his most menacing voice.
Wait. I have a funny callback.
Go for it.
Did you watch the RT shorts, the parody of the intro?
Yes.
Remember the scene where Watts is hacking? They used phones.
They used phones.
I thought he was hacking on a keyboard, but he's actually using scrolls to hack.
He has multiple scrolls.
That was so funny because mental security and surveillance program and system is so shitty. He's using scrolls, just scrolls, to just hack the whole thing. Jesus Christ!
It's interesting, hack. You said hack bending, because as we see in a moment, the way Watts kind of moves. So he's got these kind of light up rings on his fingers, and it looks like he's doing the bending out of Avatar, and he kind of moves like he's almost conducting his symphony. Which is really interesting, that almost also like Sombra out of Overwatch. It's like when he hacks, it's like a physical thing in the air that he's manipulating, which from an artistic standpoint is really cool. So we get him, ask Tyrion if he's ready, and we suddenly see a hooded figure right next to the stage of the psychopathic assassin, and we get RWBY look at Penny and she's all happy. And she just sees a metallic tail flicker out the crowd for a second. And RWBY knows.
Oh, God.
And as they count down to the election closing, we get to 3. Tyrion laughs, looks directly at RWBY with a look which says, "I'm about to do really bad things and you can't stop me." RWBY screams, "Watch out." Ren breaks the kiss. And the lights go out. And we have this moment of the crowd murmuring. Ren and Nora look scared. And we get a very excited looking Watts about to boogie.
Oh no.
Go.
Let me give you some RENORA angst.
Hit
for
it.
A second. Before all the other angst.
By any chance, is this what our certain mutual friend SparksRise said?
Maybe.
Go for it.
So maybe if they didn't kiss, Ren could have sensed Tyrion.
Oh, that's not what Sparks said. Oh, okay, carry on. So you're saying that if he was so distracted with emotions, he could have sensed Tyrion?
Yeah, because before he could always sense, he sensed Tyrion, he sensed the Aesops, and now that he was distracted by Nora kissing him, he couldn't sense him. So I'm predicting, or maybe reaching, I don't know, some angst of Ren, maybe feeling guilty and thinking that the whole kiss was a mistake because he couldn't sense Tyrion attacking everyone.
Well, let me lay down what SparksRise, who had on the podcast last week, who, first of all, you're amazing! Thumbs up. she came up with a theory that is Ren, this entire thing, as we mentioned earlier, has been reluctant to move things forward with Nora because he's scared. He's worried of what he doesn't know is going to happen. That at the moment they've still got this unwinnable fight to win. Somehow they've got to kill the unkillable. And that he didn't want to go into a relationship because he's worried about it. And the minute they kiss, this scene's about to happen. And all it's going to do to Ren is in his head tell him, no, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, basically.
So let's get into the scene. So we have What Say Go, and I'd like to point out he doesn't touch the scrolls. He waves his hand atop them, and they all light up. We get the microphone drop. We get people screaming. We get RWBY gets knocked by the crowd and her head smashed into the stage. As Tyrion is going to town, he's got his weapons out, his tail out, and he is slaughtering anyone. Slashing at everyone in the crowd. Taking out people left, right, and centre. And we get Penny clicking a night vision. Of which I will say, argument to nuts and bolts. The first thing Penny looks at is RWBY. Penny instantly looks at RWBY. Okay. And then switches to Tyrion as he is literally cutting people up. We see him hoist someone into the air with his stinger. And we get Penny trying to get him to stand down. And we get him quickly whip away in the crowd. And we cut back to Watts. And as we said earlier, he's doing this weird kind of bending, this flipping. You remember I mentioned the cameras?
Yeah.
He has 4 tabs open. One, it says Penny cam. One, it says Tyrion cam. And it has kind of their body, like, work shape. Like a 3D image of them.
Yeah.
He has Penny's security footage of killing Grimm. And he has one of the drones that's in the building filming Tyrion. And what he's doing is slowly blending them together.
Oh.
So we get Marrow calling for assistance as we get Watts carry on, and Watts flicks one of the scrolls and it switches a load of the votes on the mantle map, and so it's suddenly a lot more blue than yellow. Or yellowy green. We get Fiona say to Robin, we need to get you out of here, as Tyrion charges forward. And we get Tyrion's semblance for the first time. And holy macaroni, it's terrifying.
He is really terrifying. Shit.
So Tyrion's eyes glow purple, and so does his hand, which is his colour. And he literally rips straight through Fiona's aura.
Like, he destroys your aura from one touch. Like,
he immediately
completely
rips through and slices at her stomach, making her bleed. Penny turns around, sees him as what looks like he's about to strike at Robin. And she jumps through and knocks Robin out the way. And instead he jumps into the rafters where he's hidden. We get Robin pull out her weapon as Penny goes to guard her. Which, by the way, Penny's like outfit and swords glowing in the dark is fantastic. Like,
oh yeah, it's so cool.
And we get Tyrion laughing from the rooftops. And we say right on time as Watts kicks in the lighting. And we get Robin lying on stage pointing her weapon at Penny. As we see the aftermath. Fiona's on stage bleeding heavily. We've got RWBY and Marrow almost cowering under the edge of the stage. And we've got, I'm counting 9 people injured.
Or dead.
Well, we've got 9
You
people,
never know.
I'm going to guess, dead. We don't know how many limped out into the crowd injured. To make it worse, 3 of these seem to be 3 of the thirsty moms from the other episode.
Not the thirsty moms.
And all we've got on stage is Penny with her swords out. And we get someone in the crowd. Sorry, before this, we suddenly have victory. Jacques Snee has won the election.
Ugh.
And we get this heartbreaking moment as Robin, Penny, and RWBY, Penny, and Mara look up over the aftermath, and we get one of the crowd say, "It's Ironwood's robot."
That it's like, okay, Penny is an android, but she obviously is a person. She has feelings, she has her own thoughts and everything as a real human. And just everybody else who doesn't know her sees her as a robot, as not as a person, but as a robot, as a machine, as a weapon. And that just like breaks your heart, because we all know that she's such a sweetie, such a caring and kind person. And nods to when Ruby told her that she is a real girl, that she's not a robot like in the volume 2. And just everybody else saying that, oh, it's Ironwood's robot, you know. That's just really sad. Like the whole everybody else sees her as a thing and not as a person, and they're just the angst. Like, RWBY, please stop. My heart can't take it.
Well, sadly, I don't think RWBY's going to stop, because we instantly cut to Robin.
True.
And she almost whispers Penny, and her face hardens. And we get Penny saying, "I didn't do it." And the screen cuts to Jax saying, "Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's all because of you." And we know that he's talking about Tyrion and what's here. It's a new day in Atlas. We get RWBY run over to try and stop the bleeding on Fiona. And we get Ren and Nora quickly run up. What's happened? RWBY saying, "Tyrion's here, it's Tyrion." And as Mara climbs up on stage, we suddenly get the crowd and the rest of Happy Huntresses charge the stage, only for Marrow to use his semblance. He shouts, "Stay," and everyone freezes in time. He tells Ren, Nora, and RWBY to get Penny out the back. Penny is just shell-shocked. She's broken.
Yeah.
We get Robin continue to aim her gun at Penny. As they leave, she knocks RWBY aside to tend to Fiona. And we get Marrow saying, "Is she okay? We didn't do this." As Joanna tries to shoot him, and RWBY has to drag Marrow away as he says, "This wasn't us, I swear." And we have a shot of Robin looking into Fiona's eyes. She looks at the wound, and then we have a close-up as she looks up and she grimaces. And this is the point, I think, where Robin Hood is going to become an outlaw.
Yep.
This has been pointed out on Tumblr a lot. There's many different incarnations, many different versions of Robin Hood through history. Many of them is that Robin Hood didn't become an outlaw because he wanted to do what was right, or she wanted to do what was right. That often they were goaded into it. One of the most famous is that Robin Hood was goaded by a group of people that he wasn't the best archer, and to shoot, I believe it's a stag from something like 100 meters. He does so not realizing it's on the king's land, and thus he's become an outlaw. I get the feeling this is where we're going with Robin, because we have, from the sneak peek that got deleted, the bees fighting Robin, and we're going to get onto that in a bit. I think Robin is going to try and retaliate, and that's what's going to lead to the bees fighting her. So we cut back to Watts, which, interesting, Watts wasn't in a building, he was just in an alleyway. But we get Watts, and we see that he's blended the two videos together perfectly. So no matter what RWBY says, or no matter what anyone who was a Faunus with night vision says, the video proof now shows Penny slaughtering innocents.
Yeah.
He clicks upload, and he says, "Fine work, Tyrion. I think we're done for tonight." And he cheerfully walks away, flipping his personalised scroll up and down. And we get the confirmation that Jacques has won the election. it cuts back to Marrow, Ruby, Ren, Nora, Penny in the back alley. Marrow looks so upset that he's failed, and Penny is... I had this conversation with a few people. I don't think Penny can cry, but I get the feeling she really, really wanted to at this point.
Yeah, true.
And so we get Penny looking at the sky, and she looks so distraught. We get Ren is on constant alert. Nora's next to him. Penny goes to reach out a hand to... Ruby goes to reach out a hand to Penny. She pulls back, though, when she realises her hands are bloody from trying to stem the bleeding on Fiona.
Yeah.
We get Marrow. He says, Penny, you need to go back to Atlas. And Penny doesn't respond. He asks again, and we don't see Penny turn around. She just slightly tilts her head, and then she just shoots off into the sky. As the sirens wail, and Marrow says, we've got a long night ahead. The last shot we have is Jacques almost having this goading speech. As the new member of the council, I pledge to serve each and every citizen of Mantle and Atlas. As we get some Manticore Grim wiped down upon Atlas, on Mantle. And with that, it's cut to black. We love a bit of angst at the ending. Oh, yay.
Yeah, love it. Have to wait a week to see more angst.
Ooh,
yay!
Sweet Lord, oh my god.
Like the balance of the episode. First, you have like, oh yeah, happy, lighthearted banter between and like hanging out, and then just this whole thing. Damn, that was just.
First of all,
having mercy, no mercy.
Oh, no mercy at all. First of all, once again, fantastically written and animated. Shout out that this episode was written by Kirsty, Eddie, and Miles. Paula, I think it's pronounced Decanini. I've probably said it wrong. I'm very sorry. Directed it, so I'm pretty sure it's the first ever time that a episode has been written and directed by both women. So fantastic step right there. Yeah. So I think we've got just about enough time to briefly touch on theories, of which I think the biggest thing we've got to go into is predictions for the next episode.
Yeah.
I heavily get the feeling from the way it was set up that we're not so much a flash... Well, it basically will be a flashback where it will cut between Jean Weiss Oscar and Blake and Yang. And it will be
hopefully.
The hours be building up to this happening and then running out into the street. Because I think it will make sense from the clip that accidentally got shown.
Oh yeah.
Of Blake and Yang running out into the street and going after Robin. So I get the feeling, because first of all, a nightclub and a cinema are normally places where you can't hear your phone go off for two different reasons. And considering this is somewhere, you think about Mantle, it often has grim attacks. You can imagine in nightclubs and cinemas, they'd probably have alarms in there for grim attacks. So you can just imagine we'll get the kind of probably playful cut betweens, and then boom, alarms go off.
Oh yeah.
And then they're suddenly running out, and it will be almost like the Fall of Beacon where they're trying to get back to each other. Yay. Okay.
Flashbacks. So, my question is, did they go to a nightclub in Mantle or in Atlas? Because I don't, it's kind of weird. Wouldn't they go to a disco or club in Atlas? Or maybe because Neon and Blake are Faunus, they wouldn't be allowed in Atlas? I don't know.
I'm going to favour Mantle because, one, I don't know why, I just have the idea of a gritty underground nightclub being
true.
Being a Mantle. And second of all, it would make sense for them to still be very relevant of they run out the nightclub, boom, there's grim everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the question is, So when we had the bees earlier this episode, we had a Bumble. From what Nora said, there can't be any doubt that we're definitely going towards canon bees. It's been heavily hinted for ages, and this Nora talk of Nora basically saying, look, they're a couple.
Confirmed it. Nora the Queen.
We had Barbara Dunkelman's line, will they kiss?
Ooh,
I'm calling it right here. I'm right now on the podcast. Tomorrow, when the episode goes up, as this will be going out on Friday, I'm saying that literally we will have some form of bees moment, maybe a bees talk, and we will have them go to kiss to be interrupted by the alarm or interrupted by Team Funky as all hell breaks loose.
Speak it into existence.
I am saying it now. Also, random shout, I'm going to say a bees kiss will happen in episode 12. Don't know why, I'm going with it there.
I believe you.
So, going with this, and I mentioned earlier Robin. Robin becoming the outlaw. I feel that Robin will try to retaliate.
Oh,
because
definitely.
understandably, all she's seen is Penny knock her over, something hurt Fiona and killed a lot of people, and Penny was there. It's Penny. She's going to find some way to try and strike back. The question is Penny going to be allowed back out of Atlas? I don't think so. I get the feeling that maybe Robin might try to retaliate against maybe Marrow. She knows Marrow's going to be in Mantle. She's talked to him this evening. I could see it that Robin will either try to stir something up of like rebellion, or she will do something a little reckless. Which, granted, in her position, especially if Fiona is her SO significant other, you can understand. And that is going to lead to the Beast versus Robin fight.
Yeah, like there's that. She's definitely gonna start some kind of civil war, like Mantle versus Atlas, and I don't know what exactly she was running from in that leak scene that Blake and Yang.
The question is it Blake and Yang they're running?
Her.
She's already been running from them before, or she's had a run-in with someone else?
Yeah, like it was very short scene. Like we only saw Blake kind of jumping over the traffic and then attacking Robin, and then Yang coming in and their amazing teamwork, of course.
Yeah. The most interesting point I've got with Robin going forward now is still the last scene from the the intro we haven't had. Crow and Robin versus Tyrion. Yeah. I've got to ask the question now. What brings... I'm not going to say Robin to the good side. Because I still hold out that both her and Ironwood are going to be morally grey. They're going to do some stupid things in the next few episodes, and it's going to be the gang deciding which one's the better option. What brings Crow to thinking the same way as Robin or backing Robin up?
Yeah.
Because I get the feeling it's not just Crow happened to walk by when Robin was getting attacked by Tyrion. I get the feeling they're going to have some major interaction. Aaron has hinted at this on these streams, on her Unlock streams.
Like,
I really want to see where it's going to go. I still hold out.
I'm really excited.
That the Happy Huntresses are going to run in and save... Yes. They're going to run in and save Robin from the bees next episode. And we're going to get Robin saying something to the bees of, you're on the wrong side.
Maybe. Like, there are so many possibilities. Like, the team, obviously, they are working with Ironwood, but they don't agree with his opinions and how he's handling Mantle. So now that they were framed, I really wonder like what they could do. RWBY is really having like a big leadership struggle this volume with lying to Ironwood or withholding the truth.
Oh yeah.
And just she has a lot of pressure on her. And just I wonder what's gonna happen.
Okay. So this I'm gonna put This is not very likely, but I'm going to give this is my random shout as to. I'm going to say that full chaos next episode. We're going to start out. We're going to have the bees moment interrupted. We're going to have probably Ray comedic scenes with Oscar, Weiss, and Sean. It's going to be full on chaos. I imagine that the fight it will end with the bees fight against Robin. Robin say either take it like capturing them or saying you need to change your priorities. You're seeing this the wrong way. As this volume progresses, we're going to get Ironwood getting more and more paranoid. We're going to get Robin starting to get more and more radical. We're going to have a moment that one of the team or all of the team are going to side with Robin over something. It is going to push Ironwood away. And somehow at this point, Ironwood is going to learn what RWBY and the gang are hiding from him. And that will push Ironwood completely off the other end. Which will lead to Team RWBY having to go into Mantle, having to work with Robin.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, the end of this volume, my current prediction, I would put it about 10% likely. I don't think Atlas is going to crash. I think the end of this volume is going to be the start of a civil war between Mantle and Atlas.
That's gonna be intense.
I could also see Ironwood being overthrown by Jax.
Oh no.
Jax is now on the council, and I bet you he's suddenly going to twist it of, oh, Ironwood's killer robot. The person in the crowd said it was Ironwood's robot. Everyone thinks Penny is this killing machine for Ironwood. And so Jax, he's been working with Tyrion and Watts. He's going to say, oh, look what Ironwood's done. He's got this killer robot. He's hiding these resources from Mantle. He's doing all this evil. Get rid of him and put me in charge.
Oh, God.
And that will spin it round of we will begin the Civil War and Jacques Snee is in control of Atlas. Or more importantly, he's the puppet of which now Watts, Tyrion, and Salem are now in control of Atlas. Right, and I think on that note, it's time to finish the podcast. Before we get on to the goodbyes and asking Yana some questions of what she wants to see later in the series, we've got to say a marvellous thank you to her for coming on the podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
If you have not, Yana puts out some fantastic RWBY artwork, of which, of course, we're going to put your blogs down below. We can put where you can find you, but how about you tell us right now so I can also flash it up on screen? Where can we find you on social media?
You can only find me on Tumblr, which is on my blog, the Batjan. And, well, I mostly do art and maybe some slight discourse, but mostly reblogging, theories and other amazing fan art from other amazing artists in the fandom.
There you go. More reason to go give her a follow. Trust me, well worth it. Your most recent art, if by permission I'm allowed to put it on the screen right now.
Of course, if you want to.
Look at that. Your flipping Sunflower Yang is absolutely perfect.
She was my muse.
Anyway, before we finish, I ask this every week. What thing would you like to see from the rest of the volume? One in particular thing. And, of course, as always, you're allowed one shipping thing and one normal thing because everyone keeps saying the bees.
Okay, so wait, I can say two things?
So, one thing that's shipping involved.
Okay.
That you'd like to see, and one just general thing you'd like to see from the rest of the volume.
Okay. You can probably guess what my shipping thing would be, and that is a bee kiss, of course.
One down, one to go.
For the normal part, I guess I want to see, like, the whole, how could I explain this? Like, I want to see that civil war. I want to see the whole complexity of, like, who to trust, who to fight with. And I think that will be really, like, intriguing and show how mature this show has become, like, just handling such complicated themes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what I really want to see for the normal thing, this volume.
Well, I get the feeling your wish may be coming true come end of this volume.
Hopefully.
Right. Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary pals, thank you so much for listening in on the RWBY Radio podcast. We'll be back next week for episode 7. I can't wait to see you there. But always remember, tag your spoilers, be RWBY, not Salem, and I hope each and every single one of you has an amazing day. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and have a nice day.